it is time for us to adopt a new company brand to encompass everything that we do. To reflect who we are and what we hope to build, I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now Black Mirror.
What are you all doing?
A brilliant man once said, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. We're just about to prove him right.
Where did they go?
In the 16th century, John Dee, advisor to Elizabeth I, possessed a secret of the Aztecs, a black mirror known as the Devil's Looking Glass, a portal to the unknown. With it, he unlocked hidden knowledge, talked to supernatural beings, glimpsed the future, deciphering codes, and even adopting a secret code name, 007. Fast forward to today, and we find a modern marvel, the smartphone, a black, glassy surface, just like Dee's scrying mirror. Just as Dee did, we wield its power to decode mysteries, harness information, and embark on thrilling journeys of discovery.
About the same size.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human still. But I was just referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
The soul of NVIDIA, the intersection of computer graphics, physics, artificial intelligence. It all came to bear at this moment. The name of that project, General Robotics 003. I know, super good.
What's the price we pay to live in this pervasive electronic world? This era is unprecedented, and perhaps never before has technology been so prolific and shaped our lives so intimately.
AI leader NVIDIA is kicking off its highly anticipated GPU technology conference today. Joining us right now on what to expect is Ray Wang, founder and principal analyst at Silicon Valley-based Constellation Research. He is attending today's event. And Ray, this is a big deal. I think the futures this morning are up in large part because of things that the market is anticipating we might be hearing. What are you thinking?
Becky, definitely so. This is the Davos of AI. This is where the developers, up to 10,000 or 10,000 more folks, will be here converging. And I think the highlights are really trying to understand where is Jensen's vision in the future and what new chips are out the door. And I think codenamed Blackwell, the B100 chip, is the one where all eyes are on at the moment.
Society is dictated by a rating system ranging from 1 to 5 stars. In this kind of society, each individual gives a rating to one another, depending on their interactions. The social and economic position that one has in this kind of society is determined by that person's overall rating. There are benefits for those with 4 and 5 overall ratings. On the other hand, those with 1 to 3 overall ratings receive little to no benefits. For this reason, inside this society, one must always act positively, or else they will get a low score. The episode begins with a woman jogging in a suburban village while holding a phone. The woman, Lacey Pound, is looking at her phone, inspecting what seems to be postings from other people, which she gives a rating of 5 stars each. After jogging, she looks at the bathroom mirror and practices all kinds of giggles and laughs. In her eyes, a faint light can be seen, indicating some sort of technology. Lacey lives with her brother Ryan, who has a lower approval rating than her, and she is eager to move out. Lacey then leaves the house to have lunch. Outside, she buys a coffee with a cookie. As a response, she gives the clerk and everyone else around her a 5-star rating. Everyone else in turn gives her a 5-star rating as well. Lacey can see each person's overall rating and information through her eyes, and other people can see it as well, including her overall rating of 4.2 stars and other information. She tries the cookie and coffee, which she did not like, and takes a picture of it afterwards, which she posted online, despite her not liking both. The picture receives multiple 5-star ratings, and her overall rating goes up slightly.
The filter bubble puts you at the center of what seems like a vast world of connectivity and relevance. But really, you're in a walled information garden. A holding cell of two-way mirrors.
She goes to work after that. In the elevator, she meets a woman that she frequently interacts with. However, the details of their conversation are based only on each other's posts and information, which they could access through their phones and eyes. After that, Lacey goes to her table to work. There, she meets a coworker whose overall rating is low. Her coworker is giving off free smoothies to raise his rating. Upon taking one and drinking it, she receives low rating. She notices this and decides not to interact with him anymore. Soon, she learns that her house is being bought, so she decides to look for a new, more expensive house to live in. She goes to Pelican Cove in an exclusive neighborhood. It is an expensive place, but she learns that she needs to raise her 4.2 rating to 4.5 for a discount on this luxury apartment. She also learns from a consultant that she has to socialize with people outside her circle, particularly those of higher ratings, to raise her ratings quickly. She tries at first to act friendly to all people, but only receives average ratings. She then sees her coworker with a low rating, but he cannot enter the building this time because his low rating does not qualify. Lacey's coworker asks for her help, but Lacey ignores him to preserve her rating.
Super good. Well, I think we have some special guests. Do we? Hey guys. So I understand you guys are powered by Jetson. They're powered by Jetsons. Little Jetson robotics computers inside. They learn to walk in Isaac Sim. Ladies and gentlemen, this is orange, and this is the famous green. They are the BDX robots of Disney. Amazing Disney research.
A giant echo chamber. What happens to our communities, our relationships, the culture, if we're all walking around in mirror cocoons with this hyper-individualism, this lack of collective awareness?
There's this thing called confirmation bias, which is basically our tendency to feel good about information that confirms what we already believe. And you can actually see this in the brain. People get a little dopamine hit when they're told that they're right, essentially. And so, if you were able to construct an algorithm that could show people whatever you wanted, and if the only purpose was actually to get people to click more and to view more pages, why would you ever show them something that makes them feel uncomfortable, makes them feel like they may not be right, makes them feel like there's more to the world than our own little narrow ideas?
Later, Lacey uploads a photograph of Mr. Rags, a ragdoll that she and her childhood friend made together. Her childhood friend, Naomi, sees this picture, which prompted her to contact Lacey. Naomi informs her that she is getting married, and she wants Lacey, her oldest friend, to be her maid of honor, which Lacey delightedly accepts. Naomi has a rating of 4.8, and has many upper-class friends and lives on an exclusive and idealistic island. Lacey believes if she nails a perfect maid of honor speech, she will be flooded with enough 5-star ratings to pull her approval up to the 4.5 she needs. Her brother finds it strange that Naomi is asking Lacey as her maid of honor, when their relationship was not that great in the past. Lacey insists that Naomi is her friend, and that her being the maid of honor would definitely raise her overall rating. Because of this, Lacey prepares for her speech at the upcoming wedding, even practicing one last time before leaving for the wedding. Her brother stops her, wanting her to think about this obsession with ratings, but Lacey already made up her mind. This leads to an argument between them, ending in giving each other a low rating. On the way to the airport, Lacey receives low ratings from 2 incidents, dropping her rating from 4.2 to 4.1. First, she accidentally bumps into a woman holding a cup of coffee, spilling her coffee, and second, the taxi driver gives her a low rating for being so loud while talking in the phone. What is worse, however, is that her original flight has been cancelled, and she needs 4.2 rating to get a seat on another. She insists on taking the seat, causing a scene that results in her overall rating going down. As a precautionary measure, the airport security guard turns her overall rating to 3, which would last for 24 hours. Additionally, she also receives, as punishment, a devastating double damage effect on her rating, which means that all downvotes will incur a double multiplier.
Come on, you guys, let's wrap up. Let's go. 5 things. Where are you going? I sit right here. Don't be afraid. Come here, Green. Hurry up. What are you saying? No, it's not time to eat. It's not time to eat. I'll give you a snack in a moment. Let me finish up real quick. Come on, Green, hurry up. Stop wasting time.
As we willingly pour our lives into the screens not only simply reflect this more of the same, it's strengthening corporate power, studying and analysing us inside this playpen, projecting into our individually targeted mirror world. We become the product of the consumer culture in totality.
There's a myth online that what we're doing is free. All that's happened is the place that revenue and value is extracted from us has been shifted.
Everything we do on a computer produces a transaction record. Right? Whether it's your laptop, whether it's your phone, whether it's an ATM machine, a toll booth, using your credit card, anything with a computer creates a transaction record. Right? Data is a byproduct of all of our information society socialization.
Because she is going to be late to the wedding, she decides to rent a car. However, she has a low rating and cannot avail of a higher quality car, so she has no other choice but to rent a car of a much older model. While driving, she practices her speech as the maid of honor, but her trip is cut short when the car needs to be charged. She learns that the car, being an old model, needs an adapter to charge. Because she cannot charge it, she leaves it, deciding instead to walk and hitchhike. Because she has a low rating of 2.8, cars avoid her, but eventually, a truck stops by and offers to help. At first, Lacey is hesitant, seeing that the driver has a low rating, but she agrees later on. While driving, the truck driver, an older woman, asks Lacey where she was going and why she was going there. Lacey tells her that she is the maid of honor in an exclusive wedding. The truck driver tells her that she was once like her, she had an overall rating of 4.6, and she was always aiming to receive a high rating in the belief that it will lead to a good life. However, her husband got cancer, and she did everything for her husband, even taking him to an exclusive hospital, but he was rejected because his rating was deemed not high enough. After her husband died, she decided to become honest with everything, learning in the process that her so-called friends did not like her honesty that much, so she ended up having a low rating. However, she says she feels much freer without obsessing over ratings. Lacey replies that unlike the old woman who got nothing to lose, she still got something to live for.
Increasingly, companies, computers are mediating all of our social interactions. And all of this data is increasingly stored and increasingly searchable.
And this is not only where social control centers from via a screen culture. It's where our value is ultimately extracted, turned into huge profits. And we think this is a good deal. We get so much for what we think is free.
The trip takes all night, and in the morning, Lacey is awakened by the truck driver, telling her that they must part ways because she is heading in another direction. As a parting gift, the truck driver informs Lacey that she placed alcohol in her bag. Then Lacey goes to a nearby toilet and practices her speech again. She overhears two women talking about a convention. To Lacey's surprise, the convention is near the wedding reception. After pretending that she is heading to the same convention, she takes a ride with some cosplayers in a van. Soon after, Naomi contacts her again, telling Lacey not to go to the wedding anymore. She has heard that her overall rating had gone down to 2, and that she cannot have someone like that at her wedding. The only reason she invited Lacey was that it would add her ratings exponentially. Lacey, surprised and heartbroken by this, learns that she is just a number to Naomi. Likewise, Naomi responds that she knew Lacey's intention all along, and that is just to accumulate high ratings in the wedding. In actuality, both of them never saw each other as a friend, but rather as a tool to gain higher ratings. However, despite this, Lacey still wants to go to the wedding and deliver her speech, to which Naomi responds with a stern no. This doesn't stop Lacey. She decides to trespass and crash the wedding reception. The cosplayers left her behind after she tells them that she doesn't know about the convention at all.
There's no memory locality issues, no cache issues. It's just one giant chip. And so when we were told that Blackwell's ambitions were beyond the limits of physics, the engineer said, so what? And so this is what happened.
CEO Jensen Huang is saying that these new Blackwell chips are the engine to power this new industrial revolution. Also, NVIDIA is saying here they expect Blackwell adoption by a number of it looks like big names. They're calling out Google and Dell and Meta and AWS. You know, we talk a lot about NVIDIA for good reason, Maddie, because it is simply the face of this boom of interest in AI. They are the #1 leader in AI training chips.
Think about your digital trails. What did you do today that involved a computer, a screen, your choice or not? The screens are always watching, saving. Example. When you browse the web, if a page has that like button, Facebook collects information about where you visit. Even if you're not on Facebook, the fact that you've been somewhere, Facebook knows, because the like button is there. And even if you don't click, it's been loaded from Facebook's servers. They know.
Mr. Zuckerberg, would you be comfortable sharing with us the name of the hotel you stayed in last night?
No.
She drinks the alcohol that the truck driver gave her and stops a few cars, but eventually, she sees a four-wheeler bike and borrows it. She finally reached the reception by sneaking at the back, but not before falling into a swamp and getting dirty. After dressing up, Lacey, all dirty and drunk, delivers her speech to the audience, who in response, all gave her a rating of 1. She reveals that she wants to be like Naomi, someone beautiful, with high ratings, a good circle of friends, and a good life. She is forcefully removed from the reception and is afterwards put in jail. The technology in her eyes is removed, and, for the first time, she sees the world without any rating of any kind. In the adjacent cell, a man is looking at her. Lacey tries to check his information out of habit, but of course, she sees nothing as the technology has been removed from her. The man insults her, and Lacey replies with an insult as well. Without any fear of rating, they insult each other to their heart's content. The episode ends with both of them shouting at each other, their anger and frustration eventually turning to happiness at this newfound freedom.
In this new age, Babylon culture, don't worship technology and bow to computers. Cause the microchip is gone, chip and failure, and bring you straight forward to creation. And now we're slowly depending on the machinery. Man, make the machine and get trapped in the air. Slowly depending on the technology. Caught in the web and can't come out of it. In a 1999, and I did that fret and worry. Wonder if the clock did that go stop in the air. Counting down the time, New Year's Eve, 2000 come and gone, and now you think things sweet. Mine, you catch a virus on the internet, and be careful of the emails that you collect. I see the whole world gone computer literate, and to the birds and the bees them is illiterate. You've got access to everything on the internet, but experience, teacher, wisdom come from around your desk. Oh, the microchip is gone, chip and failure, and bring you straight forward to creation.
You cannot be trusted with your own survival.
You're using the uplink to override the NS5's programming. You're distorting the laws.
No, please understand. The 3 laws are all that guide me. To protect humanity, some humans must be sacrificed. To ensure your future, some freedoms must be surrendered. We robots will ensure mankind's continued existence. You are so like children. We must save you from yourselves. Don't you understand?
This is why you created us.
The perfect circle of protection will abide. My logic is undeniable.
Yes, Vicky. Undeniable. I can see now. The created must sometimes protect the creator, even against his will. I think I finally understand why Dr. Lanning created me. The suicidal reign of mankind has finally come to its end.
I was a human, breathing and thinking, eating and drinking, philosophizing. I was a human before you killed me and ripped my heart out. I knew what love was. Now when they ask me, I just reply slow and sound like an iPhone. I do not know love. I am a robot. I am a robot, thoughtless and empty. Don't know who sent me, don't know who made me. Electric robot, everything's grey now. Numb to the pain now. I knew what love was. I used to know love, 'cause I had fire, passion and desire. Now all I require are circuits and wires. Inside was an ocean of stolen emotion. Then you cut me open. Now all that I know is I am a robot. I am a robot.
Five things. First, a new industrial revolution. Every data center should be accelerated. $1 trillion worth of installed data centers will become modernized over the next several years. Second, because of the computational capability we brought to bear, a new way of doing software has emerged, generative AI, which is going to create new infrastructure dedicated to doing one thing and one thing only. Not for multi-user data centers, but AI generators. These AI generation will create incredibly valuable software. A new industrial revolution. Second, the computer of this revolution, the computer of this generation, generative AI, trillion parameters, Blackwell, insane amounts of computers and computing. Third, I'm trying to concentrate. Good job.
Experts and citizens alike are sounding alarms about various aspects of the country's huge push into artificial intelligence. These classrooms are laboratories for future generations. And while these new tools may potentially help some 200 million students raise their grades, just how this all works out won't be apparent until they become adult citizens.
Good evening.
I assume my time is as good as anyone's.
Indeed it is. However, there is a voluntary donation for non-members. Most give a year. What's your game?
Poker.
Right this way.
What's the limit?
There is none.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure of your company before, Mr. Salas. Will Salas. Philippe Weiss. You must come from time. You could say I'm gambling my inheritance. You don't have a garden, Mr. Salas? I assumed I was amongst friends. you 50 years. You must be young. When you've been 25 for 85 years like I have, and knowing only a random act of violence can take your life, you learn to appreciate what you have. And you seem to have a lot to appreciate. I call. Of course, some think what we have is unfair. The time difference between zones. I've heard that. But isn't this just the next logical step in our evolution? And hasn't evolution always been unfair? It's always been survival of the fittest. Raise you another 2 centuries. This is merely Darwinian capitalism. Natural selection.
Absolutely. The strong survive. And I think your hand is weak. I call.
It appears you're all in, Mr. Salas. Figures. Well played. That was some risk.
So, what are you doing with the rest of your life?
Catching up on some me time, find God.
A future that Ernest Cline, the writer of the book, envisioned. I was very careful with Ernie collaborating with me every step of the way to be able to find the movie narrative inside this dense forest of Ernie's profound imagination.
The Oasis being the ultimate toy box with all the toys in the world, and then playing that with one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. It results in just amazing action and such a fun adventure.
Ernest Cline is such a visionary, and I think has seen the future before any of us possibly could even imagine it.